order to get this done or anything else done, there needs to be sustained leadership, because if we're going to bring this to the game, that is generational transformation. That's not done in 6 months or 18 months or a year. That's generational transformation. And one of the things that I was impressed with, and I said this to you, and I wrote about it afterwards, that just hearing about what the approach that Finland takes, it seems that they are grown-ups having a grown-up conversation in a grown-up way, which I find is missing, with all due respect. I find it just missing from the UK dialogue. And I know there's people on this call who are very much involved in that. There's no disrespect to anyone, to a certain extent I am as well. But it feels that we do not have the structure to allow us to look at the national generational transformation. So as we move into the second half, actually, the third of this conversation, how do we get from here to there? What are the victories we can look for? It's always good to find the victory. What are the first small victories that we can find to demonstrate the value of what we've been discussing here? And Maria or Ian, if you can take those slides down, that'd be good. No problems if you don't.
Of course, I would.
Okay, Maria, can you see if you can take that down? Totti, back to you then.
Yes, thank you. Well, I would first of all, I would go back to something that both Laurence and myself, what I said, is realizing that Finland is a very, very small country. So the personal responsibility in a smaller society is more concrete. So whoever were the people who put you in charge, you will see these people, if not on a daily basis, then at least quite actively. And that also makes the society more agile and more flexible. So if I'm thinking anything related to resilience and the Finnish model starting in the UK, it would make more sense to start in a smaller community, either in a city or a county or some other municipality, with an easier a body of people to control. The other thing is that Finland has been building its current resilience since the Second World War, but for example, our laws changed in 1950 something to build legal requirement for buildings to have shelters, and that hasn't changed. And there's been few questions on the chat as well. There have been multiple countries since the illegal invasion of Russia trying to invade Ukraine started. We've had multiple nationalities and organizations visiting Finland to see what the shelters are all about. But that has been since 1950 something. And about 20 years ago, there was another major change on what we now call comprehensive security model. So it's several decades how this has been developing and fine-tuning and through trial and error, apparently, to get to the current situation. And then obviously we're not done yet. I mean, every single month, every single year, it needs to be developed and reevaluated.
Thank you for that. I mean, there was a question there, I think, from you. And do you know if anybody from the UK, Laurence, you might know this, and Jenny, it's great to see you, Jenny, if you want to, Jennifer Toll, if you want to come in and sort of make a contribution. Does anybody know if the UK government has actually looked at this? I mean, have they, or any other models, Laurence? Do you know if they're actively going around the world and looking at what good looks like? You're on mute, by the way. Don't you embarrass yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Jenny might know a little bit more. Also, I see Steph Buller on the call as well. She might know. But
Steph
certainly from my...
By the way, as far as I always think Steph knows everything. So
yeah, exactly. So certainly from my perspective, I'm very, very active in a lot of certainly EU Horizon proposals. And, you know, many, many countries across Europe. And to my knowledge, even though collaboration is the the whole raison d'etre of those projects. And then also reaching out to associated third countries and international, and Canada, Australia, US, etc., Far East. I really don't get a feeling that there is a concerted effort by the UK government to understand and listen to what else is going on. And even if they are, there's certainly not any effort to understand how you might integrate some of those component parts back in. And as I said earlier, the structures that we have now are so entrenched, and silos just percolate every single area of operation, that it becomes nigh on impossible to operate outside of those silos, which is why you have to step outside and work with a coalition of the willing, for example, to understand what you could do, and then work out how you take it back into those structures, or how policy changes may need to be made to remedy some of those fundamental barriers and so on. So I don't think the UK government is really actively looking around.